Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney revealed when cameras may have to vanish, since documentary series are not always a pleasant distraction for Paul Mullen and co. STOK Racecourses Hollywood co-owners have given the Red Dragons a global presence, with their fan base expanding as Football League stars like Paul Mullen and Elliot Lee become household names far beyond North Wales. Reynolds and McElhenney's Fly on the Wall series has been uniformly highly received, with players becoming accustomed to unique expectations, but such exposure is not for everyone. Carlos Edwards, a former Wrexham player who spent 5 years with the club at the turn of the century, told Goal in partnership with OLBG that he would have embraced or despised life on the big screen, to some extent, but you also need to prioritize business over games and training. You will encounter diversions along the road. Personally, I would not allow it in the changing room during or after a game. You want to reflect after the game, whether you won, lost, or tied. It's not healthy to have that kind of distraction. You simply want to sit back, go home to your family, have a pint, and think about the game. You have cameras everywhere in the changing room. Everyone is different. We currently live in a society where everything revolves around cameras and social media. When asked if the presence of cameras prevents certain things from being spoken, Edwards responded, "I believe so. I have this argument with my wife occasionally. People are afraid to speak up unless something goes horribly wrong. It's shoulda, woulda, and coulda, as well as not saying it right away and catching it early on. At the end of the day, you must set examples. You cannot simply have cameras placed up everywhere in order to gain some publicity for the club. It's okay, but there are other ways and means of doing those things outside of the changing rooms." Wrexham has found it simple to deal with the extra attention that television cameras bring because favorable outcomes have become the norm. If that circumstance changes, Reynolds and McElhenney may have to reconsider their approach. Edwards remarked of cameras being removed if collective fortunes worsen. That's it. That is the advantages and downsides of it. You have the cameras while you're winning, and then you have that small fall in form, and all of a sudden they don't want the cameras in because it's a distraction. Why wasn't it a distraction before you suffered a fall in form? You must recognize that things must be done immediately, rather than when things are not going as planned. You must set certain standards. As a manager or coach, you don't want all that distraction going on behind you. You want to concentrate because, as a coach, your mind is constantly racing. You have agents, board members, everyone, and you can't even sleep. You have a week to prepare your team for a game, while in the background, cameras will be filming the documentary before and after the event. All of this requires research. We need to understand that these boys have a task to do. I don't believe you can go to a corporate office during a board meeting and film a documentary, so why should it be in the changing room?